here when we have any reports from our reporters in the field. I know Colin Mayfield is out there just for one. I believe Morgan Lintus as well is in this morning. So when we have those reports, even if we can just have phone reports, that's definitely going to be some good news, at least to hear and to give people the advanced warning out ahead of these showers and thunderstorms. Our viewers, if you can, send us in, if you can, safely, your reports or your photos. WLKY Weather is our page on Facebook. You can get Suzanne and I also on Twitter handles as well. I'm at WLKY Matt. Suzanne, I believe. Suzanne, you're WLKY Suzanne H, if I believe. That's right. And we're also searchable as well. I'd love to hear those from you because it helps us, your reports after the storm, help us warn out ahead of these thunderstorms for the folks to tell them what they can also see. Ground truth is always nice because even though we can look into the storm of the radar and see 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gust into the southeastern parts of the metro, arcing back into far northern Spencer and also eastern portions of Shelby County. So Finchville, Elk Creek, all the way down Glen Mary, Mount Washington, you're on high alert for some of those stronger wind gusts with this very intense rainfall and thunderstorm. It's going to be heading in your direction. Also a lot of lightning. You can expect to see that. Look at all of the lightning strikes here. Quite honestly, they are numbering into the thousands right now with all of the lightning from the metro and points on off towards the east, also indicative of the very heavy rainfall that we have with these showers and thunderstorms across the area. We are coming up on the 5 o'clock hour, so we're going to start resetting for WLKY morning news as we make our way through the course of the morning. We are looking at shower and thunderstorm activity that is quite strong and active across the viewing area. Monica, Jennifer, Suzanne. Yes. It has been busy. It's going to continue to be busy through the morning. And the primary concerns out there, not only these high wind gusts, but some of the very heavy rain that we have seen falling. You guys might have noticed that on your drives in here to WLKY. You guys have been outdoors since we have come in a little earlier this morning. Give us the latest update. What did you see on your drives in?
I was a little worried because when I came off of 71 onto Zorn, the road close signs were out and I could see some water. So I had to kind of reroute myself. And then there was also debris too. So and it was dark. So if you're out right now and it's dark, you need to be careful because you can't always see the flooding that's out there right now.
And I think it's important to point out, John Belsky just chimed in and he said several roads are completely impassable in Clark County. So that's something obviously to consider. We were talking about some of the rock slides that have been reported up into Madison and into Trimble County, also the high water there. So we are getting a lot of reports, unfortunately. Highway 3 flooded out in Charleston, Indiana. Yep, and you can see right behind me, guys, we may want to take this full screen. This is our live tower camera from our WLKY studios. The lightning outdoors right now is just about continuous. You see these flashes, the camera will kind of get a little out of focus from time to time when we get some of the larger ones, but it is almost just kind of a continuous blinking flash out there with the, quite honestly, thousands of lightning strikes that are occurring over the course of just 15 minutes to a half-hour time that we are tracking on the Doppler network. So it is a very electric, very loud with the heavy rainfall out across the area. So we're going to continue to watch and to monitor these showers and storms as they make their way through the WLKY viewing area. So overall, we're going to continue to watch that with the shower and thunderstorm activity across the area. So that is the latest from the WLKY Weather Center. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Good news is, Susanna, looking here at the National Weather Service, we are in contact with them through the internet, and they are able to relay to us local storm reports and all that is going on. They have just let's see, gone ahead and issued the severe thunderstorm warning a little farther off towards the south. This now includes Bullitt and also southeastern Jefferson County for this storm that you're seeing on Super Doppler radar. We are looking at
here through the southeastern parts of the metro, Suzanne, of some high wind gusts.
We're watching that dip down to the south and to the east, so obviously downstream they're going to have to start issuing more warnings because of just the history of the winds that have been reported with this. It looks like some of those winds right now, Matt, have come down. We can see down into portions right on that edge between Jefferson and Spencer County. We have a 43-mile-per-hour wind estimate there, also a 47-mile-per-hour wind estimate. This is going to be heading into Bullitt County, northern Bullitt County, in short order. So just keep that in mind. This is all dipping down to the south and to the east. So if you haven't felt the impact, if you're in Spencer County, if you're in Bullitt County, you're about to feel that. And bottom line, we are talking about some fairly vigorous storms. And part of the problem is we don't even have to have that strong of wind at this point, Matt, because we've got a full canopy of leaves on the trees. And unfortunately, we also have quite a bit of saturated ground out there. So we're watching this just swath of moisture push down to the south and to the east. And not only do we have flooding rains associated with this particular cluster of storms, Matt, but we also have those incredibly powerful winds. And I know we were talking about trying to get some ground truth out there. We have our own Colin Mayfield, who's out in St. Matthews, an area that was positively hammered this past weekend with heavy rain, anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of rain reported there.
And we're starting to get into some of that very heavy rainfall once again through this portion of the metro area and off towards the east. Tell you what, on Super Doppler radar, we can estimate the rainfall from the Doppler radar, and this shows some very, very heavy rain conditions out there, Suzanne. And we've already had, especially north and east of Louisville, 2 to 4 inches of rain through the overnight.
And we were saying that we wanted to go live out to Colin Mayfield, who's out in St. Matthews, an area that was hard hit earlier on Sunday, unfortunately, during the overnight hours, where they saw 3 to 4 inches, had problems with some of the creeks overflowing their banks, and unfortunately the cleanup continues. Now they have seen quite a bit of heavy rain. Our eastern suburbs have really felt some fairly healthy rain. So Colin, what are you seeing right now? And unfortunately, more storms passing through your area currently. Or not. We can still talk about a
lot of lightning out there.
A lot of lightning out there. It may be the thunder that is hampering our ability to get Colin at the phone, but certainly not hampering our ability to continue to track these storms for you with winds anywhere from, at this point, at last check, about 40 to perhaps 50 miles per hour. Yeah, and that's what we've been watching. At times it looks like they burst, a little bit and increase up towards the 60-mile-per-hour range. That's why we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the southeastern parts of the metro, down into Bullitt, Spencer, even down to the mainly southern half of Shelby County, and also flash flood warnings that continue off to the north and east from there. Let's go again to our live tower camera behind me. Suzanne, I'm just continuing to see the flashes of lightning over and over and over again, and that is what is likely going to be waking you up perhaps early this morning. We're at 5:05. Not only are we talking heavy rain and the potential for flooding, but we are also talking about a very electric atmosphere. So this is going to likely cause some power outages across the viewing area. We have even seen some reports all the way back from yesterday evening and later in the afternoon of some trees that were struck by this, some power lines as well. We even had up towards portions of Jeffersonville yesterday of a transformer fire along one of those electrical poles, and we've even had reports of some structure fires through the overnight hours because of some of the lightning activity out there. So that, even though severe thunderstorm warnings are not prompted by lightning activity, it's by wind, hail, or tornado. Lightning always something that we need to watch out for, as you can see it right there. And it's also, we just got a report into our Facebook page that Jeffersontown is currently without power. So unfortunately, some of you, at least you can get us on the app and certainly on WLKY.com. Not only did Jeffersontown get hammered with heavy rain and a ton of lightning, Matt, but also unfortunately, quite a bit of wind energy was passing through the Jeffersontown areas. We were tracking it. I believe they had maybe 50 to 57-mile-per-hour winds going through just a few minutes ago. Also, as we mentioned, and it's important to point out, because I know a lot of you are getting up this morning and trying to head off to work. If you're in the Charlestown area, we're getting some reports that the roads are impassable into portions of Crawford County this morning, so certainly something to be advised. This was an area that got a ton of rain, and we're going to continue to track a few of these storms right now. moving down. And Matt, something interesting, these storms are actually moving at a pretty good clip, which is good news as far as the rain concerned, bad news as far, unfortunately, as the wind concerned.
Yeah, typically the slower that storms move, the slower the wind gusts, the faster that they're cruising on through. They kind of pick up their own wind energy just with the movement. Now, we were trying to chime in with Colin Mayfield just a little while ago. I want to try that again, Colin. Are you available? I know you're in the St. Matthews area, a neighborhood in the metro, kind of on high alert after what occurred Sunday morning. So if you can hear me, go ahead and give me the latest update from your area. Does look like, though, some of the heaviest rain, believe it or not, might be pouring where you are. Some of the heaviest rains off to your south and east.
And Matt, I've been hearing you guys talk about more rain headed this way, and that may not be a good idea for this area. We're here at the Mallgate Apartments in St. Matthews, again, another hard-hit area that we saw into Sunday morning. And this creek, Beargrass Creek, I believe that's where this is. It looks like it almost can't take any more water. The runoff from this is impressive. And this creek has swollen already this morning, almost to its banks. And these people with these cars here, if anybody's listening to this airing this morning, needs to come out here and try to get their cars moved as quickly as possible. This creek is rising quickly. We're going to stay here throughout the morning, Matt. We're trying to get our live shot up right now in this rain. It is heavy, as you guys are talking about. Some of the heaviest you guys are seeing around the metro, that is what we're seeing here on the ground as well. So as this creek continues to swell, this will be an issue, definitely a flooding issue for people back in this area near the Mallgate Apartments, Matt.
Thank you so much, Colin, for that update live in the St. Matthews area. Yeah, if you can get that live shot up, that'd be great. Love the reports, too, even over the phone this morning, as oftentimes storms and lightning can make it tough to get some of those live images out across our area. But we are looking at part of the storm here. Meteorologist Suzanne Horgan driving Super Doppler radar right now through northern portions of Bullitt County, back over into Spencer County. Some of the wind potential in the metro is beginning to die down right along, though, the Bullitt-Jefferson County line. Still some indications that we could have some 40-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts there. Also maybe extending that line back into south and western portions of Spencer County, although it does look to be much lower than that. Even though these wind gusts right now may be at a little bit of a lull in the activity, you can kind of see, too, there's easy to see if you look at over the time lapse of this radar, some of that rain that starts to kind of take on a little bit of a smoother appearance on the southern edge right through south and western portions of Spencer County. So I think we're going to look there over the next couple of scans of the radar to see if some of those winds start to peak in that particular vicinity. That is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Spencer County. And so over the next couple of scans of the radar, we might see some of these brighter shades of green indicating a stronger wind gust just south of Taylorsville. So be on the lookout for that. It may start to peak interest as well into northern Nelson County, not too far from the Nazareth area, Cox's Creek. So we'll be on watch for that, even though no severe thunderstorm warnings have currently been issued. Flash flood warnings go for the entire northeastern parts of the viewing area from, quite honestly, the Louisville area all the way down and out Interstate 64 and up into southern Indiana along and east of Interstate 65. The rainfall amounts have been quite high through the overnight hours. Anywhere you see the green shades, these are radar estimates of 2 to 2.5 inches. The darker the shade of green gets, that's where we go 3 to even 4 inches of rain estimated by the radar. Bottom line, it is a very tropical rain, a downpouring rain out there over locations that have, over the course of the past couple of days, already seen some of the very heavy rain and the potential for flooding. You heard from Colin Mayfield out of St. Matthews that we are starting to get now more reports of the water beginning to rise once again with the heaviest of the rain that's beginning to fall in that location. Also off to the north and east, roads in Charlestown becoming very difficult and impassable. Also, we've had some of those reports through the overnight in places like Madison, Milton, down to Bedford. US 421 has been inundated with rainfall so far this morning. So a lot of extra caution, extra time needs to be used if you do have to travel. If not, maybe go ahead and delay it a little bit because of the showers and the thunderstorms out across the area. Now, Once we get to the north and west, there are some rain showers still, some steady rain back over through southern portions of Washington County, but notice the intensity is less. We're starting to get a little bit more of a kickoff towards the south and east. Still, I believe we're going to have several more, perhaps an hour's worth of rain in the metro, and that extends off to the south and east. We'll also watch what's developing farther up to the north and west. Don't like to see that because the flow in our atmosphere has been conducive to, notice, bring those showers and thunderstorms off towards the south and east. So we're continuing to monitor all of this as we make our way through the morning with the showers and thunderstorms. Let's go over to the Max 1 source. We just got new warnings issued south of this line. Now includes most of Bullitt County, Spencer County, Nelson County from Bardstown northward, and also a good chunk of Washington County, Kentucky, down towards the Springfield area because of the because of the thunderstorm potential and those high wind gusts with it. Lots of lightning, and then in the darker shades of red, that is where we have flash flood warnings and advisories that have been posted as well. So very busy from a thunderstorm perspective and a rain perspective this morning. That is why the weather, that's why we're keeping you updated here continuously on WLKY Morning News. Want to bring in meteorologist Suzanne Horgan as well, because Suzanne, we're tracking some things now. You know, folks probably just starting to wake up. Maybe it wasn't the best of night's sleep.
Right.
But we haven't seen a ton of reports from this area, so that's the very good news. But overall, anything over the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, our own John Belsky, we really appreciate his sending in some reports. Just got a report in from North English Station Road, high water. The fire department, unfortunately, is not able to get through. Eastern Jefferson County heading into the Oldham County area. Certainly, that's a heavily populated area. So if you're getting up for work, unfortunately, that's what you're going to be dealing with. High water also reported from John Belsky in Crawford County. Roads, unfortunately, impassable in a few locations. So not only into Trimble County, Crawford County, Oldham County, and into Eastern Jefferson County, we're seeing some, unfortunately, flooding concerns. And I suspect that's going to get worse once we start to see the sun come up this morning. And we have so many people who have to get out. You know, you have to get to work. So unfortunately, and this is hard to take. Just turn around. You're gonna be late for work probably because of that. But unfortunately, I suspect we'll have a number of roads that have been shut down. Also getting some reports into Jefferson County, Indiana, of Spring Street in Madison flooded out there, and also getting some reports of some rock slides in the Madison area as well, just from all of that heavy rainfall that they've seen during the overnight hours. North and east really getting hammered with that heavy rain. The same locations, of course, that were hard hit this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about there are some places now in the WLKY viewing area, especially just north and east of downtown Louisville, that are potentially over the last 3 days rivaling 7-8 inches of rain.
Right.
That's just way too much after the wet spring and first part of the summer that we've had for the ground to take. Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi was saying just over the course of the last 10 days, there's places that have seen over a foot of rain. So it is way too much. It is not a typical summertime pattern, that is for sure. A lot of folks have asked, you know, why is it? And it's something that's called a northwesterly flow in our atmosphere. These storms develop to the north and west. They roll right down and feed off of this tropical style humidity that we have. And it just continues across the viewing area. Here we are, 5:15 now, and just continuing to watch these showers and thunderstorms that over the course of it looks like about the next 30 minutes in the metro, we're going to wind down some of this rain and wind and thunderstorm activity, at least temporarily. Some more developing off to the north and west, so we're going to continue to watch that around Vincennes, Indiana, but still dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings now into the southern parts of the viewing area, and definitely going to continue to keep them up to date.
You don't like to see that upstream, development upstream, because everything is traveling down on that, unfortunately traveling down to the southeast. That's going to be impacting our area once again as everything continues to kind of fall along that conveyor belt. And we need to point out that it's Clark County, not Crawford County. Excuse me. We've been up for a long time here. Been on the air since about 1:30 this morning. So Clark County.
For sure.
Be careful if you're in Clark County. And I believe we have Matt. If you want to go ahead and toss over to Erica.
Yeah, we're going to take a real quick look at the warnings. Just a quick look here. You can see from southern portions, Jefferson County, all the way down to the Bluegrass Parkway. That's where the warnings are for the high wind gusts and also the potential for the heavy flooding rain. Also want to bring in our news desk into this. Of course, Monica Hart and Jennifer Bayless this morning as well. Jennifer, Monica, let's send it over to you. I know y'all have got some reports there.
Yeah, you know, we're seeing reports of power outages all over the viewing area here. Just check the LG&E app, and they're saying a little more than 3,000 people just in the Louisville area that's without power this morning. Obviously, it's going to be more as these storms move across the area. Places like J-Town, we're getting some reports of no power there. So obviously this is a fluid situation where this is also a dangerous situation with the weather the way that it is. We want to go back to the Weather Center now and check in with them. Guys, is this a situation where these storms are going to wrap up soon, or is this something that's going to be an all-day event?
You know, I think we're going to see some breaks, but we've got the storms obviously this morning, right. Suzanne, there's some indications that much later in the day, perhaps late afternoon into this Tuesday night, that we'll have more showers and thunderstorms. Not only was Colin Mayfield out around St. Matthews, we have reporter Erica Coghill out in all of this mess as well to keep you advised on what's the latest. And Erica, let's bring you into the conversation here. Not only tell us where you are, but what you are seeing and some of the threats in your area.
Matt, we're just leaving Sugar Maple Road in LaGrange, where authorities responded to a house fire this morning around 2:30. That house, the attic of it, actually was hit with some pretty severe fire damage caused by lightning. I spoke with the homeowners, very upset, obviously, after losing their home this morning. And they said that they were woken up from their sleep when they heard a large bang. They said it was, or a loud bang, rather. So that is what alerted them, and they noticed their house was on fire. So Oldham County authorities have been responding to a few lightning fires at home this morning. The other one was on Ballard School Road. That house not as badly damaged as the one here in LaGrange, but we are seeing very heavy lightning, and we've been trying to work on getting you all images this morning, but at this point here in Oldham County, it is just not safe for anybody to be standing out with the lightning striking the way that it is.
All right, Erica, thank you very much. Yeah, stay safe out there. You know, we have just queried, if you will, the number of lightning strikes, Suzanne, over the last quarter hour from the metro and points on off towards the east. And you're looking at video right now that Erica and her crew have taken here from the LaGrange area. And it takes those numerous flashes of lightning, which at least is highly suspect that caused this fire. And you can see there on some of the brightest flashes, you can also see some of the damage to this home that occurred through the overnight hours. Let's look right behind us on the Doppler network. The number of strikes in this box from the metro all the way over to Frankfort and near Lexington, just in the last quarter hour, 6,235 lightning strikes. And you saw it in that video. It is near continuous out there. And it is indeed a big hazard, not only in terms of the potential for structure fires, but lightning can also down trees and knock out your power, of course. And we're starting to get more and more reports of power outages across the area. And,
you know, I need to point out that our John Belsky is, of course, tracking everything along with us. Wires are down at the 900 block of Hurstbourne Lane. Unfortunately, a water rescue at Stanley Galt Parkway off Magisterial. That's in the eastern sections of Jefferson County, kind of on your way to Anchorage, if you will. Blankenbaker Parkway off Commonwealth. There's also a water rescue that's ongoing at this moment. Brownsboro at Ballardsville, and another car is unfortunately stuck in the water. So this is kind of what we were afraid of, Matt, was going to happen as everyone is getting off and trying to get off to work. Unfortunately, now we're going to start to see people who have a difficult time seeing just how high that water is, and it is challenging. So far, we've had a number of water rescues this morning reported mainly into eastern Jefferson County and also into Oldham County. It'd be interesting to see what Erica saw on her way out up 71, if she in fact saw any problems with high water there on her way to LaGrange. And
very tough, perhaps impossible to judge the depth of any water that you might think about crossing on the roadways. That's why we use the phrase turn around, don't drown. You never know. You might think it's 2-3 inches of water, but maybe a manhole cover has popped off. You know, you can easily get your car stuck in one of those. Nothing that you want to put any extra added stress on emergency crews that might be having to respond to a fire. You don't need to have them come and get you out of a flooded roadway as well. So that's really perhaps our highest threat right now is going to be the potential for flash flooding, especially from the metro and points off to the north and east, as well as these lightning strikes. It's one that keeps you indoors through that, and also some high wind gusts that still have prompted severe thunderstorm warnings through southern portions of the viewing area now as we move into Bullitt, Nelson, also Washington, Spencer County as well with some of these stronger wind gusts. So Let's get back to
Right.
tracking 521 and let's take a look at some of those. We're going to go over to Super Doppler radar. This is first showing the radar estimates of the rainfall that are out across the northeastern parts of the viewing area. Now starting to get some 2-inch rainfall amounts in the metro from overnight, but as you head farther up towards the north and east, some of these darker shades of green indicate 3-4 inches of rain that we've seen through northern and western portions of Oldham County, also up along US 421 through Henry and Trimble County, up around Milton, Madison, 4 inches of rain. But as you head into southwestern portions of the metro, Brandenburg off to the southwest of there, haven't had much of any rain over the past several hours. It's been very dry through the overnight time frame. Your atmosphere not as conducive to support the showers and thunderstorms. In fact, the storm track, basically the best and most conducive nature for showers and thunderstorms has been typically in the northern and eastern parts of the viewing area this morning. And you can see some of the heavier wind indications here on the Doppler radar right along south of Shepherdsville, headed towards Claremont, Lebanon Junction, just north of Bardstown. Good news with this, though, is starting to see a little bit more in the way of the wind velocities, wind speeds coming down over the last couple of scans of the radar. Here we're only looking at now maybe what might be a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust in some of these locations, maybe less than that. You could get briefly higher, but good to see that the radar's not pinging some of those 50, 55, 60 mile per hour ranges that we're seeing a little farther up to the north. So now perhaps becoming a little bit more of a steadier rain and lightning event with